Have you been trapped in bad vibes? You don't know if it's you, if it's someone else. Doesn't matter. It's leaving you feeling drained, funky, demoralized, disconnected from your spirit, not at all hearing your spirit guides, certainly not feeling like you're going to be manifesting anything good these days. Well, my name's Sonia Choquette, and I am an intuitive transmitter and energy guide teacher, and I am here to help clear that bad vibe bath right now and get you back into a higher frequency and flow. For those of you who are members of my community and channel, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your support and your continued commitment, and I'm so grateful, not only because it keeps the channel going, but you're just good vibes in the world. You're just spreading that light and love in the world, and I'm really grateful to know there's this wave of goodness coming from you. And if you're new to my channel, your spirit brought you here, so I hope you find something that will help you feel better today, help you clear the bad vibes, and then get you back into flow. And if you love it, stick around. Maybe you'll subscribe. Hope so. Okay, so let's get on with the bad vibes bath. We got to get out of this funk. We got to get into the flow. And you know what? The truth is, the world is undergoing so much transformational upheaval. There is an exaggerated amount of fear and anxiety in the world right now. That's a real thing. And it's leaving people feeling troubled at best, just not safe, because safe equals predictable. And there's nothing predictable about what's going on in the world right now. And so, first of all, just don't personalize it. Don't say, what's wrong with me? Here I go again. I'm negative. Something's wrong. I had a beautiful conversation with a really dear friend of mine today because I could just feel her floating in a sea of anxiety and funk. And so when we were talking, I said, how are you? Are you okay? And she just burst into tears and said, I'm just sick of it. I don't want anything to do with anybody. And this is a very loving, spiritually connected person. So if you're feeling that way, it's just because there's such a surge of overload in the atmosphere, in the energetic field that we share, as so much is being disrupted. And we are witnessing so much in so many appalling situations. So step one to get out of bad vibes is to have compassion and not judge yourself or interpret this as your energetic, spiritual, or moral failure, or there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with the planet, which is why it's in a big disruption. And as you can't heal what you don't reveal. So many things that we've been stuffing are coming up now, like a backed up sewer, and we just have to roll up our sleeves energetically and say, okay, I'm going to look at some of this, not to go down memory lane with it, but just to decide that this is not, that was then and this is now. And so, we call that honorable closing. Sorry, I've been saying what we call it. It's called honorable closure. Your spirit says, thank you for this experience. It was difficult. It was painful. I'm not going to keep revisiting it. I've learned my lessons. These are my lessons. This is the gift it brought me. And now I cut the cord and close it. It's not going to be an energy leak. I did this after my divorce. I actually had to do it several times. I kept closing chapters and aspects of it till finally I said, enough. That was that. I learned. We went as far as we could. It is time to go. My guides were saying, enough, enough. My higher self was saying, enough. Look forward. So if you need to have honorable closure for something that you stuffed or couldn't quite fully process in the past, here's one of the ways to do it. You can either sit down, light a candle, and say out loud, or you could write this if you wanted, all the things that were painful about that experience. All of it, don't censor. And then these are the gifts, and then write down the gifts or say it out loud. My gifts from my divorce, where I got to move to Europe, got to have a beautiful experience living in Paris. I got to have my daughter meet her future husband, and now I have 2 gorgeous granddaughters that are truly the joy of my life. I got to travel to China and various parts of the world that I'd never been to before and teach and learn and connect with people. So I don't have stories about them. I have real experiences about how we're loved and connected. I got to be supported by my publisher in the UK. I got to make some great new friends. I got healthier because I was walking all the time. I mean, I could go on, but this is just an example of whatever funk, if you reframe it, you can see the gift. And once you extract the gift, the funk goes. It's like, okay, I don't need you anymore. I don't need you to teach me. I don't need you to remind me. I'm done. Now, empaths are highly funked out right now because they act like sponges. So if you're feeling like you're absorbing everybody's energy, I even write about this in my book, The Psychic Pathway, my very first book. I say, learn to observe, not absorb. Ring it out. That's not about me. My teachers taught me very simply, mind your own business. It doesn't mean being indifferent or uncaring, but it means you have business to mind. So do mind your own business. Show up to what's important for you. And secondly, if it's not your business, hands off. Hands off. And that is so important. It's a tricky one for empaths. Even my friend that I called this morning, he said, I've been thinking about you since 4 a.m. She goes, oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to intrude. I said, actually, I owe you an apology. I shouldn't be tiling into your vibes at this hour, but I did. So let me just forgive me. But I was able to say, I am picking this up, but it's not my business to address, to fix, to correlate. It's not. So let it go. And begin to discern what is your business, because one of the best ways to get over bad vibes is to get committed to what is truly meaningful to you. And so here's another tool. You can start journaling or doing automatic writing every morning. I have some techniques for that in my books, definitely in my book, Read Life Accurately. So that might be a place where you get some tools. And in that book, I talk about automatic writing. You could talk to your higher self. You could talk to your guides. You can talk to your ancestors, light beings, just through a Q&A, through journaling and a little bit of your imagination. A big bad vibe wash is to actually get in the bath and take an Epsom salt bath and soak in it for at least 20 minutes. You can keep adding a little warm water, and a salt scrub is another way. You can just get a salt paste that you can get from, some bath and beauty supply or whatever supply, and clear your aura. Salt. It clears, cleanses, neutralizes. Now, the other thing is we have to kind of, for energies I always say you got to get back in your body or squatters move in. If you had a beautiful house and the doors were open and nobody lived there, it wouldn't be long before somebody would come in and take up residence. And the same thing happens when you are not really in your body and committed and focused on what you love. These negative energies and entities kind of come in and take up residence, kind of plop in your energy field. So you have to get back into your body, even a few stretches in the morning, a walk around the block, get on a bike, whatever works for you, but get off the couch, out of your head, and start breathing and moving and stretching and shaking. And then get involved in something you love. Baking a cake, cleaning your drawers, gardening, wash your car, clean out your wallet, anything that is supportive to you clearing energy. Now, you want to be, I'd say, let the backdrop of your world not be scrolling and not be news. Let it be music. And beautiful classical music really clears the aura, really cuts the cords to all this bad vibe and fear-mongering that's going on. And then if people are in that conversation, you can try to change it. But generally, if people, it's like a dog on a bone. Once they get it going, they're not going to get off. Just excuse yourself and say, I forgot I had something to do, which is go have a nice life and walk away. You don't have to participate in negative energy just because it's happening. You can just say, that's not for me. I'm going to remove myself. Now, you might invite more bad vibes if you're too obvious about it. You don't have to basically say, you guys are bad vibes, I'm out of here. But you can say, be discreet, I've got to go, I forgot I had something to do, which is, you don't have to explain what it is, but it could be in your mind. Go have a nice life and do something wonderful. And then the other thing that you want to do is think about, where are you resentful, or where are you angry or need to forgive? These are often indications of boundary violations, where things somehow crossed your boundaries and you're holding on to it, but maybe you didn't speak up. So it helps to write that all down, because energetically you're releasing it and it will communicate. I remember I had just volumes to write to my ex-husband, but eventually, without actually ever verbally downloading it, message received. And he finally showed up, and we made peace and became friends again. But that message needed to be communicated, and I knew if I was verbal, it would never be received. So I just wrote it down and asked my guides to communicate this message at the highest level of love, and then I would burn it. It's another thing. And then check your own attitude. Basically, we can say it to everyone else when we really are just in our own negative funk. So if you're in a negative funk and you have a bad attitude, the first question is, ask yourself, where am I betraying myself? Where am I saying yes when I mean no? Where am I showing up and staying too long when I should leave? Who am I hanging around that isn't good for me anymore? What am I doing that is not what is in my best interest to do? What am I avoiding that I need to get back to? I have another friend who was just in the biggest funk for a month, and she said, I woke up and started painting today, which is my first love and my calling, and then I felt better. Absolutely felt better. So, my teacher said, you can't create whatever you want and succeed. You can only create what you really love, and what comes from the heart can succeed. I believe that's true. So I hope these tips and tools are certainly not an exhaustive list, but these are very basic ones that'll get you going, and any one of them is enough to cut the bad vibes. You don't have to do all of them. Just pick the one that appeals to you and put in our notes what that one was. Pick that one, exercise it, recognize. If you need some extra help, you can read my book, The Psychic Pathway, and that has some very good tools for clearing the path and the past. Two big energies that will help you be in better vibes today. I have another good book called Tune In. Yes, I've written a lot. I'm a teacher. I'm a transmitter. So Tune In also helps you understand that sometimes what feels like bad vibes is just an invitation to grow, and it's difficult, but we're growing. We're growing. So then you can reframe what you consider bad vibes. Like, for example, I had an experience the other day where it was such bad vibes. I met a person for the first time when I was traveling. And I was told by a mutual friend, you'll enjoy meeting each other. And well, so much for good intentions. I met this guy and I had good intentions, but when we met, he started talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking to the point that it started getting weird. Like a whole 45 minutes went by before I said, we were at a restaurant. He said, I'd like to order. I'm hungry. Never coming up for air, never stopping, never noticing anything but his own monologue. And then talking and talking. Long story short, so 3 hours before I finally said, excuse me, I got to go. I swear, I don't even think he knew my name. There wasn't a single lick of interest in who I was, and I was angry. And I didn't realize I was angry until I left. And as I walked away, I thought, I'm really angry. Why am I really angry? He was talking about himself. It wasn't bad, but I'm angry that for 3 hours he only talked about himself and didn't see me. Okay, I could be angry about that. But what I was more angry about is that I should have left. I should have said, excuse me, way earlier in the conversation. I gotta go. Because he was just talking and I was just sitting there listening, I don't even think he would have noticed that I had left because he was just in his own monologue. Whatever, and God bless, whatever he was doing, I betrayed myself for not saying that I gotta go. couple times I tried to have a conversation or intervene, but it kept switching back to them. I was like, oh, dear Lord, this is insufferable. But my agitation and bad vibes was big, probably a little bit bigger than the situation. So I called a friend of mine and I said, I am furious. I am so bummed out. This is like an exaggerated story of my life. I'm being polite and holding space and I'm showing interest, but I forgot to take care of me. And she was laughing and said, well, you'll probably never do that again. And I have to say, guys, it was so obnoxious. I probably won't ever do that again. So bless the messenger. I can let go of the experience. See, one of the things about letting go of bad vibes is let go. I mean, part of me didn't want to let go. Someone had to witness this horrendous, disturbance to my spirit, affront to my spirit. And I thought, no, it's actually a lesson I need to learn. And it got super amplified because that is and always has been a bit of a challenge for me, is to, now, not professionally, interestingly, I have good professional boundaries, but privately, I can put up with, so much. Not anymore. So we're all being given our big opportunities to grow in these bite-sized experiences that we might consider the worst vibes ever, the bad vibes ambush. But maybe it's the opportunity to grow scenario instead. So do reframe it if necessary. Give it a shot. Learn what you're here to learn, and the bad vibes can go and you can let them go. We don't need to keep electrocuting ourselves with the bad vibe experience just to make sure we don't forget it. Instead, resolve what's the outcome here. My outcome is, if I'm in an uncomfortable situation, I will not avoid it. I will say, excuse me, this isn't working for me. I gotta go. And that's probably exactly what I would say. But you can say whatever works for you, but we don't have to caretake other people's emotions. That's my point. Just be authentic to your own and communicate politely, but you have the right to communicate. So that's my message for today. The bad vibes cleanse. You don't need to be in it, swimming around. You can see it, you can clear it, you can walk away, you can cut cords. Oh, one more thing. Let's just do that. You could just say, I cut the cord. I don't receive you. I'm done. And you don't have to say it to their face. You could just call up their energy. I cut the cord. I don't receive you. I don't need this. We're done. We're done. And if you're feeling fairly benevolent, you can even say, thank you. Thank you for everything. We're done. And mean it. It's okay to have boundaries. That's a big part of the bad vibes wash and cleanse. So, and do keep your Epsom salts and your lavender Epsom salts handy. I'd say once a week is a really good practice minimum. You can also ask your guides to protect you. Front, back, side to side, above and below. You can ask your guides. I actually have a beautiful meditation that is called the Archangel Meditation that you can find on my website. And that is a daily, put all the boundaries around good vibes, bad vibes go away, good vibes protector. It's called the Archangel Meditation. It surrounds you in archangels. It's quite profound. So thanks for tuning in. I hope these tips help you. I'm not done. I'll be back. I'll share more, but we can only take so much at a time. I hope that they're valuable. Please leave your comments. They're invaluable. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Share this with everybody. Everybody, if this helped, thumbs up helps me. And thank you, and I'll see you next time. All my love.